In today's video, we're going to discuss 5 things that you need to know before getting a Cane Corso puppy. Before we get into the video, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the newest upcoming videos about Cane Corsos or Bruce Wayne. So number 1, and this doesn't just go for Cane Corsos. Giant breed dogs in general grow very, very fast. Because they grow so fast, it puts a lot of strain on their joint. We have to really monitor their play. We have to make sure we don't over-exercise them. We have to make sure they're not jumping. We shouldn't be forcing them to run. We shouldn't be taking them on long walks or hikes. A 5-minute walk, a 10-minute walk, a couple times a day is good enough for a puppy. I'm not gonna go into the exact science of it, but if you're over-exercising a growing puppy, it can lead to joint issues. It can permanently disfigure them. And we don't want any of that. We want happy, healthy Cane Corsos running all over the world. Be mindful, they're a puppy, they need to play, they need to run around outside and get big and strong, but really monitor how they play. Let them dictate how they play. Don't play fetch, don't make them chase things. If they want to run around and chase a butterfly, let them run around and chase a butterfly. Just be very cautious. They shouldn't be walking up and down stairs. Pick them up. Carry the little meatball up and down the stairs. If you have stairs in your house that they have access to, make sure it's gated off so they don't walk down the stairs, run up the stairs, because that's horrible on their joints. Same with hills. Don't make them run and walk up and down steep hills. Again, not good for their joints. Furniture. Make sure you're not letting them jump up and off of furniture while they're still growing. There is a set point for everything. At 18 months, there's free reign for the dog now. 18 months is when there's no limitations on exercise. They can jump on the couch, they can jump off the couch. Now with a little bit of research, you can figure out exactly the age that you can start allowing your dog to do different things. Obviously, when your dog's 8 months old, you're not going to be carrying them up and down the stairs. But there are certain things that are a no-no up until 18 months. A biggie, jumping in and out of cars. For him, even now, I use a ramp. I'll let him jump into the car, but getting out of the car, I have a ramp. I put it on the car, he walks down it. There's guides online that you can find the exact ages when you can start introducing new exercises, that type of thing. Number 2. Just as discussed in number 1, they grow very fast, but we don't want them growing too fast. Growing too fast, again, can lead to joint issues, leading to disfigurement. So really monitor your dog's weight, monitor what he's eating, make sure he's eating. I feed him raw. I'm not saying you have to feed your dog raw. If you're going with a kibble, make sure you find a high quality kibble. Do your research on the brands that you want to feed your dog. I say to monitor their weight. That way you can assess how fast they're growing, if you need to cut their food back a little bit, if you need to add a little bit more. And with that being said, really control how much you're feeding your dog. Don't let them free eat. Don't be giving him a ton of treats all day long. He gets no treats, and he never has except for really early puppyhood when we were trying to teach him his name and some basic obedience. But that's it. He doesn't get treats. He gets his morning meal and his evening meal. Puppies have to be fed a few times a day if possible. So number 1 and number 2 are just so important and critical in the health of your dog. Number 3, Cane Corsos go through a couple fear stages in life. So one day, let's say they're not scared of the vacuum cleaner. The next day, the vacuum cleaner is the most terrifying thing in the world to them. Don't coddle their fear. Don't teach them to be scared. And by that I mean, let's say your puppy is scared of the vacuum cleaner. Don't coddle him. Don't tell him it's okay in a calming voice. Essentially, by doing that, you're teaching the dog that it's okay to be scared. This is how I should act right now. I'm scared. And he's loving me. So I should act like this every time I see this object or I hear this noise. That's the last thing you want to do. Bruce was scared of motorcycles. He wasn't scared of motorcycles at all. And then one day, boom, scared of motorcycles. And he'd be in the backyard. He can't even see the road. He'd hear a motorcycle and he'd run inside the house. What did I do about it? I ignored the situation. I pretended everything was normal. He could be scared. I just kept playing if I was outside with his toys. Nothing was wrong. I would put him in a situation where there was motorcycles at a distance. Let him assess the situation. Take him home. The next time out, see some motorcycles, maybe get him a little bit closer to it. If he seems overwhelmed, I'd remove him from the situation, but I would never ever coddle his fear. Never do that, because it will be almost impossible to get rid of that fear in the dog once they get older. Coddle, is that even the right word for that? This is where patience comes in. We all want instant results. We all want to do more to fix a situation. But with things like this, it just takes time and patience. And then it always typically ends up working itself out as long as you follow the proper steps. Number 4, they seek and love attention from their owners. They are 100% part of your family. They are pack animals. He is not happiest unless I'm home and my wife is home. I work from home. I'm home all day with him. She comes home, and it's the most glorious thing in the world to this guy. He acts like he hasn't seen her in 10 years. Vice versa. If she's home and I even leave to the store, I come home and he's like, whoa, he just met like Santa Claus. It's like Christmas morning every time you walk through that door. Be prepared to have a very affectionate dog, and you need to show them the affection back. When we first got him, after week 2 when we had him, at night he would just start barking, and not in the middle of the night, like 5, 6 o'clock at night. He'd be fed, he'd go to the bathroom already, he'd be played with, and he'd essentially 100% taken care of. You'd expect him just to want to lay down and fall asleep. But he would literally just sit on the floor staring at you, barking, and he would not stop. And for about 2 weeks, I'm like, I don't understand this. Why is he crying? Why is he barking? We just gave him everything he needs. I just played with him. He wanted to cuddle. That's it. He just wanted to cuddle. He just wanted to be on the couch with his family, laying on our lap, just cuddling, not being obtrusive, just his head on our lap. He doesn't need to be pet. He just needed to be included in the family. After we figured that out, as a puppy, he never had one of those instances where he would just sit there and bark at us over and over while we tried to figure out what he wanted. He just wanted to cuddle. So you have to be very accepting to them wanting to love you and be loved back. You are your dog's life. It's all he has. He's at home all day. Yeah, he gets to go on a walk and see the outside, maybe a store here and there. But essentially, you and your family are all he has. That's all he can look forward to in life. So we need to include them as much as possible. And especially with these guys are just so loving and I can't even explain it. He's almost human. It's crazy to me. Really be expected to just be able to let these guys love you and love them back. And number 5, the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is socialization. When you get your Cane Corso puppy, you need to start socializing them immediately. I'm not a vet, so I'm not going to tell you what to do. Our vet told us not to bring him in public until he had all his shots. By the time he had all his shots, his crucial socialization period, which is between 7 and 12 weeks, is completely done. I didn't follow that advice. I was just really cautious about where I brought him. I wasn't going to bring him to a dog park. I wasn't allowing him in areas where dogs may have went to the bathroom. I was just really smart about it. By 12 weeks old, these guys should have literally met hundreds of people already. Every race, every color, big, small, old, young, people with hats, people with scarves, people with canes, people with walkers, people in wheelchairs, during the day, at night, because things look different to them at night. They should meet as many people as they possibly could and be in as many different situations as humanly possible. If you don't have all this time to dedicate to bring them out in the public, get them around people, bring them to different locations, different scenarios, you don't want to just keep bringing them to the same spot every time. If you don't have that kind of time, you are going to have a nightmare on your hands. Absolute nightmare. If you sense that the dog's getting overwhelmed in any type of situation like that, All you have to do is just remove the dog and bring him home. That's, again, going back to 4, don't nurture their fear. Just get them out of the situation. They could be tired, they could be overwhelmed. But be consistent every day. Bring him somewhere new. Get him around new people. He's gonna be the cutest thing in the world, so everyone's gonna wanna pet him. Let people pet him, or her, or gender neutral. It's a lot of time, sacrifice, and dedication. You will literally have a best friend, your one in a lifetime dog, for sure. But it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of patience. My wife and I literally gave up probably the first year of his life. We just had to give it up. On the weekends, we couldn't go snowboarding. We had to be with him. We had to take him places. We had to spend time with him. Because at 12 weeks, he should meet hundreds of people, as I just said, but his socialization is definitely not up. This needs to be an ongoing thing, essentially his entire life, but it's really crucial the entire first year. Just new experiences, new people, new areas. As much as you can bring him into different situations, the better. That way he understands when he's growing what's normal, what's not normal. Remember, these guys are big, they're powerful, they're strong, and they're protective. So a guardian breed, if somebody comes over to you shaking their hands or wanting to shake your hand, he needs to know that person isn't going to hurt me. He needs to know that this is a normal social situation. So he acts appropriately. You don't want him lunging at someone, scaring someone. That's the last thing you want in your hands. So again, I can't emphasize enough how important socialization is. Make sure to subscribe, like, hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next video, which I think is gonna be how to convince your wife to get a Cane Corso. Because I had to do some convincing myself because she wanted no part of a Cane Corso. See you guys next time.